I'm Wayne McMahan. I've been the Executive Director for the Dental Association for 30 years, but this month marks my 38th year being involved in state government, primarily in the legislative process. Mr. Chairman, let me specifically address what we're on, and if you've got a minute, just two other quick areas that have been brought up. I don't know any tactful way to say this, but the board's legal counsel needs to advise them what the present law says on mobile dental clinics, because based on the comments I've heard today, there's not a good understanding of existing law. Let me be very specific and very quick. The existing law says that a mobile clinic has to be tied to a dental office in the state of Alabama. That means you can't come from Tennessee or Colorado or whatever and apply for a license. You may can apply, but based on present law, there would be no basis on which to grant it. The reason this law was passed was because there was no regulation of mobile dental clinics until this law came into effect. Sorrell Dental Clinic, which is primarily land-based in 3 different locations, maybe 4 now, heading Bessemer, had a mobile unit donated to them. They wanted to take that around the state and wanted Medicaid to reimburse them as Medicaid did and does for their land-based operations. The Medicaid agency said until or unless there are regulations in place that will allow us to keep fly-by-night clinics from coming into the state, we're not going to reimburse you. So that was the genesis of the law, and the law has a lot of teeth in it. I'm not sure that it's perfect, I'm not sure any law is. But what I'm hearing today and what the law says just don't mesh. Do we have a minute on a couple of other things? Very briefly, there is a very good reason why the Board of Dental Examiners has chosen to operate in Birmingham. Dr. Willis alluded to one. They even brought his statistic. 1,000 dentists live within a 100-mile radius of Birmingham. The Dental Board spends a great deal of its time working with the dental school. They regulate the dental school in many respects. They have to license dentists who work at that facility, work at that school, who don't qualify for an Alabama license. They spend a week there each year giving the exam for graduating dental students. They spend several days there throughout the year working with the faculty, the students, and more importantly, the most unique dental hygiene program in the nation. Alabama is the only state in the nation that allows a dental hygienist to receive a license through a combination of in-office training and instruction at the dental school. It won't surprise you to know that we're in turn the only state that doesn't have a shortage of dental hygienists. Very briefly, Marianne Wilkinson is by record and by description the administrative secretary of the Board of Dental Examiners. She is not their executive secretary, so they're not replacing their executive director, executive secretary. They're creating the position for the first time, and obviously there may well be a need for it. But I just want to make that clarification before she's here today. Finally, and very briefly, you all were a part of, in the sense you saw it going on, and many of you, Dr. McClendon in particular, tried to help solve the specific problem, discord in the profession. It was multifaceted, as most discord is, but it centered around, and the focus was during the 2007 and the 2008 legislative session, because the Dental Practice Act then and until recently said, we changed it, excuse me, one member of the dental board shall be black, period, paragraph. Now, when your board's appointed, that's a simple thing, relatively speaking, in the appointment process to accomplish. When your board is elected by the entire profession, as this board is, it's not something you just go out and do. So the Dental Association aggressively tried to elect a black member in 07 and 08. Each time a white dentist ran, each time a white dentist won. The law was changed during the 2009 session in the legislative sunset process. You guys not necessarily want to brag about it, but you made history. You attached 58 pages of amendment to a sunset bill during the 2009 session, and among other things, it provided for membership from the African American community on the Board of Dental Examiners on an ongoing basis. So again, my point being, sure, discord, multifaceted. Attorney Wayne McMahan, being there 30 years, but stepping on a few toes, can't imagine how I did that, but nevertheless, had a lot to do with solving the problem that the legislature said one member shall be black. To me, shall is just what it says. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. McMahan, thank you very much.